The secret to happiness from the wise old woman's story. Happiness comes from within, not from the outside. When the old woman said happiness comes from within, she wasn't just offering a cliche. This is a profound philosophy echoed through generations, from great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor known for his stoicism, to modern leaders like Nelson Mandela. Despite enduring 27 years in prison, Mandela maintained his resilience and famously said, "No one can take away my inner freedom." Like the old woman in the story, he chose not to let external circumstances dictate his inner peace. The old woman explained that instead of letting sadness take control, she learned to accept loss and focus on the positives. When her husband passed away, she faced her greatest sorrow. Yet rather than dwelling in grief, she realized her children needed her, and she needed herself to move forward. This mirrors Abraham Lincoln's wisdom. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be, finding joy in small things. In the story, the old woman teaches us that even on the worst days, there's always something to be thankful for and joyful about. While this may seem simple, it forms the foundation of true happiness. For instance, during the darkest moments of World War II, Winston Churchill didn't just see the war, he recognized the courage and hope of the British people. Churchill once said, "Be pessimistic when assessing problems, but optimistic when solving them." The old woman found joy in seemingly small things, like a sunny day or a blooming flower. This reflects Eleanor Roosevelt's famous quote, "Happiness is not having everything, it's enjoying everything you have." Difficult times will pass. One of the most profound lessons the old woman shared is, everything will pass. This concept is a recurring theme across cultures and philosophies. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus once said, "You cannot step into the same river twice," emphasizing that life is ever-changing and nothing, not even pain, lasts forever. Consider modern leaders like Barack Obama, who faced numerous criticisms and challenges during his presidency. Rather than letting difficulties defeat him, he maintained optimism and believed challenges were temporary. Similarly, the old woman reminded the young man in the story, even the darkest moments will eventually pass. Happiness is a choice, not luck. The old woman stressed that happiness is not something granted by others or something you're lucky to have. It's a choice. Oprah Winfrey, who was born into poverty and faced abuse, rose to become one of the most powerful women in the world. She once said, "Be grateful for what you have, and you'll have more. Focus on what you don't have, and you'll never have enough." In the story, the old woman chose to start each day with a positive thought, no matter what happened. This is akin to Mahatma Gandhi's decision to embrace peace instead of violence, even when faced with oppression. Spreading optimism. With her positive attitude, the old woman not only transformed her own life, but also inspired her village. Her optimism encouraged others to realize that happiness isn't a distant dream, but something achievable in everyday life. Think of Martin Luther King Jr., who inspired millions with his message of peace and justice. He said, "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." The old woman in the story made a similar choice. She chose love and joy over sorrow. Lessons from great figures. Figures like Franklin D. Roosevelt, Nelson Mandela, and Mother Teresa share a common trait. They chose to rise above adversity and spread hope. Roosevelt's famous words, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself," reflect the same philosophy the old woman conveyed, that true strength lies in how we face challenges. Applying these lessons in modern life. If you find it hard to find happiness, try applying these lessons. Like the old woman, start each day with something positive, no matter how small. Like Mandela, remind yourself that everything will pass. And like Churchill, find hope even in darkness. Happiness isn't reserved for a lucky few. It's a gift each of us can give ourselves.